They make it themselves. And I had 2 chili dogs with onions. Lo had a cheesesteak, which she just basically just took half of the roll off, and a basket of fries with cheese, dipping cheese. So we wound up doing something totally different, and she totally enjoyed that because it was different. NC4L and 2HYG.
And 2HYG and NC4. Yeah, we went out to Longhorn, and really, it was a pretty good price, $25 for a half a rack of ribs, which were delicious, and they gave you 7 ribs, not 6. Delicious, it's as thick as could be with great sauce, and then like a big piece of chicken. They call it Parmesan encrusted chicken, which was almost better than the ribs. And then they gave you this loaded baked potato, which had like everything in the world on it. I'm telling you, man, I'm starting to salivate now. What a good meal that was. And then this morning, we got up early. My son made us all breakfast. We had sausage and scrambled eggs and marble cake and bagels and lox and cream cheese. And so much so that I didn't really need to eat lunch. And because it was so good, and then I had a nice dinner here at home. So that's what we did, man. We ate good, and we had a very, very good time there. All righty, let me get Mark in here and see what he's got to say. Maybe he wasn't heard too much last night. K3VLS, come on in, Mark.
K3VLS here from Media, PA, everybody's hometown, where it's 49 degrees. And it was a little bit of rain and cloudy. It wasn't a pretty day today. Yeah, the last 2 days have been unbelievably bad for the radio. Uncle Paul, you were coming in here really low and distorted. So I didn't even try. Nobody else was really coming in. So I gave up. But your signal was the best of anyone, and it wasn't good. Back to you, Mal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's a big solar flare. I don't remember. I think this is the first one we've ever had. That was a G4, and then they were going to call it a G5. And they showed pictures of it on the Weather Channel, and you could see the sun, spurting this big flame coming out. Maybe half the diameter of the sun, millions and millions of miles. And good thing it wasn't shot straight at us. But I think we're going to have a little effect tomorrow. But tonight seems to be pretty good. But the noise levels are a little lower than usual. It's about a 7, and you're about 5 dB over S9. So right now, you're way out in the clear mark, and you sound wonderful. 82BN.
Well, that's good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, apparently we had one 20 years ago in 2005, 19 years ago, and it was a G4. You may have remembered it. I wasn't a ham then. I didn't remember it or really pay attention to it. But yeah, it's not over, I don't think. We're going to get this, off and on for a little while. I'm not sure how long they last. But it might be a few more days or even weeks. So, be prepared. It can be pretty rough. Yeah. So yesterday I went to Kutztown at the Antique Radio Show, which really is a flea market, and I was there at the end when they're getting rid of their stuff. So let me know you're still copying me. I'll tell you what I bought, and I'll ask you what I paid.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm copying you pretty good, but I didn't say what you were trying to get rid of.
No, I wasn't trying to get rid of anything. I went out there to buy. I wasn't really looking to buy, but they were getting, the other people were, because the show, the flea market was ending. So they didn't want to bring stuff home. So here's what I bought, and not that I needed any of it. I bought 2 AM/FM desk table radios in beat-up shape, figuring I bought them for parts. Maybe I'd restore them, maybe not. But they have about 6 or 7 tubes each, so they're worth something. I got a stereo that was questionable whether it worked or it didn't. A stereo tuner that not a big console, just a little stereo tuner. And it turns out that it has some light. I'll have to do a little restoration on it, but it's actually in pretty good shape. I got 2 hard drives, 500 gig and a 250 gig, used naturally. And I got a power supply, a small one. It's only 4 amp, 13.8 volt, 4 amp power supply. I didn't really need it, but a little. That's the price. Couldn't beat it. So what do you think I paid for all of those things?
Oh, I would say about $8.
You're $5 too high.
Well, listen, considering I might have said hundreds of thousands because it might have been, antique stuff, that's not so bad. I'm only up by a couple of bucks.
There you go. Yeah, you're close. I mean, but percentage-wise, it's a lot. But I don't know. I'll tell you, I initially thought I was being taken. I'll tell you why. The first radio I bought, one of the AM/FM radios, the guy said to me, I said, how much? He said, make me an offer. I said, I don't want to insult you. You know me, I really have feelings for people. So I said, I don't want to insult you. He says he couldn't be insulted. So I said, $2. He said, sold, instantly. I turned to him, I said, if I would have said $1, what would you have said? He said, sold.
Right. All right, so you got some stuff to play with. That's good. That'll keep you busy and out of trouble.
That's about it. So, for $3, I mean, where can I get that kind of entertainment for $3? I got weeks of entertainment now.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you do. Well, I'm happy because I got the newer iPad. It's a 12. The other one, my first one was a 9. And the new one is my newer one is a 12, and my wife got a 17. That we bought brand new. And where'd we go? We went into BrandSmart here, and then the kids paid her back for it and gave her checks to pay her back. My son gave her cash, and my daughter gave her a check, but she didn't know if she was going to keep it or not. So that's how that all went around, and yeah, we had a very, 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 very good. I watched the basketball games. We had a good time. And, big screen. He's got like an 80-inch screen there. Well, all righty. Well, very, very good. Let me get John in here. I think you said, that's about it. Sorry for you. N4JAP, come on in.
Yeah, NC4L, N4JAP. Good evening, Mel. Everybody on the net. Good to hear everybody tonight. I also tried to check in last night. The alternate net control guy was a 5 call. I was hearing him banging in at 59 plus. But he could not copy me at all. I tried to check in a couple of times, and I did hear 1 or 2 of the other stations, but the conditions were horrible. On the flip side of that, man alive, the Aurora Borealis was absolutely amazing Friday night. Ringgold, Georgia, it's right at the Tennessee border outside of Chattanooga, so it is extremely rare to get any type of Aurora show down this way. And it was unfreaking believable. A buddy of mine called me and said, you need to go outside and look. And I did. I was like, wow. The colors were pretty amazing. So I spent a good hour or 2 walking around the neighborhood trying to get away from some of the brighter lights and got some good shots. Saw the moon kind of setting in the western sky, a quarter moon, like a toenail kind of thing. But that was pretty phenomenal. And they did say that was a G5, which... one little article I saw said the G5 probably hasn't happened since like the 19th century or something, maybe early 20th century, I don't know. But it was really cool. And then Saturday during the day, it was a radio blackout. I mean, 80, 75, 80, all the way up to 10. I couldn't hear anything for the longest time, but the weird thing is that stateside stuff wasn't coming in, but I was getting DX. I was getting like Dominican Republic, an OE8, an Austrian call sign. It was just real bizarre. I was hearing the DX, but nothing here stateside for a while, so I turned it off. The noise level was high and anything, but hey, it was definitely a sight to see. I'll tell you what. I did read where some folks in Florida were able to see it. So, Mel, I don't know if you guys down in South Florida had a chance to see any of that, did you?
Well, I wasn't on the air last night. We were, going through Mother's Day and kids and grandkids and stuff like that. So I wasn't here. I was over in Fort Myers. You said you got a moonshot?
Yeah, it's a shot. It's with my iPhone. I've got an iPhone 15. But anyway, yeah, the moon is setting, and there's this beautiful purple, red, bluish curtain, just lit up over the neighborhood there with the moon setting.
Yeah, I like them in the photography. I have a Sony, and I took a moon shot with a 300mm lens, handheld, from my house. And you could actually see the relief of the mountains, on the side. When you're looking, when you look straight at it, you can't tell. But when the sun hits it from an angle and you're looking at it from the same angle, you see it's like it's not a round circumference. You can see the actual craters and the way they're shaped. And I blew it up real big because the lens was working nicely, and I got a 20 megapixel camera, and I was able to really do some good stuff with that. So, you expose that almost as like, almost like daylight, because although it's very small and it doesn't give off much light, the moon itself is quite radiant, and that light is coming to you, bouncing off the sun. So, you could use a fairly good exposure, and, your hands don't shake and blur it. So, yeah, I had a couple of good moon shots. And, the moon apparently always, no matter where it's rotating, the face of the moon is always the same. You never see the dark side. Although it's rotating around us, one part of the moon is heavier than the others, and so it keeps staying facing to us because of the gravity. Go ahead.
Yeah, very interesting. Well, congrats on getting the shots where you could see the craters in the mountains. I mean, I've seen that with a telescope, but I have not seen that with a camera. So, but it is time for me to upgrade the camera. So I'm going to try to look at that. But anyway, it was just really cool to see that, and I think I saw where folks in Puerto Rico even may have gotten a faint glimpse of that. So who knows if that'll happen again. But I did see where they're expecting the sun's flatulence to continue. So we may get another G3, G4 tomorrow, maybe sometime this week, and then hopefully the sun will take a beano and settle down here a little bit, and it'll improve some of the conditions on the air. Anyway, I hope you had a good weekend. It was a great weekend here, man. The weather's been great. We've had, the mornings have been in the 40s, upper 40s here, and it's getting up to about 72, 74 in the afternoon. So we're having some exceptionally great weather before it gets really wet again next week. And usually by the end of the month, by around Memorial Day, we're close to 90 degrees here. So the summertime will arrive, and it'll be time to shift again. NC4L and for JP.
Yeah, I like that. The sun's flatulence. I thought that was pretty funny. Oh, that's really what it is, isn't it? Don't light a match to it, though. And, so I know I'm into photography. Oh, Rich in here tonight, K5RBI is into nighttime photography, and he uses an intervalometer, and he takes a picture every 1 or 2 seconds, and he wants to see comets coming across the night sky, and he's got a camera with like a, 50 or 60 megapixel sensor, and he's using, like 1.4 lenses, very, very wide, bright lenses, and they'll take pictures of the night sky, and you can see every star up there. Anyway, well, that's the story from here to John. Well, good chatting with you, and I'm glad you had a nice time, and I would rather it be a solar flare of a G4 than a Force 4 hurricane coming my way, and I think that would be a lot worse. Anything else you wanted to say, John, before we move on?
No, just one other thing. You're talking about taking some nighttime photography. I believe Saturn is going to be in a really good position, very close, and should be able to see the rings if you have any kind of maybe binoculars or a decent camera. I want to say August 26th or August 27th, sometime around the end of August. Saturn is I forget what they call it. You know, they've got all these astronomical kind of names for this stuff. But August 26th, 27th, sometime around there, Saturn is supposed to be in a really good, favorable location. So, hey, just something to think about coming up over the summer. But that's it. Have a great night. Thanks for keeping the net going here for all the years, and good to hear everybody on again after that radio blackout. From N4JAP, John in Georgia.
Cool, okie doke there. Well, I had a friend who was into astronomy. He was a young fella. His father was a physician, and we trained together in New York City. And so, you know, he was 20, 30 years younger than me. But he had this Celestron telescope, and he had it on a jive. So the stars didn't get blurred. And he had it on a jive, and we looked at Saturn, and I could see the rings as clear as day. It was unbelievable. Looking up there, I couldn't see it. But he had this thing, I don't know how powerful it was. It was like an 11-inch catadioptic, which means it folds his mirrors in there. And then we were looking at a guy about 2 blocks away who was sitting at his kitchen table reading the newspaper, and we could read the print. So that was someone else. He's a silent key now, unfortunately. But he was just a young kid. But it was very nice going to his backyard, and he set the thing up, and we sat there and we looked at it. It was incredible.
Hey, did you hear?
Yeah, good story, good story. All right, good night, Mel. 73.
All righty, KD2. Thanks for coming in. KD2, come on in, Rich.
NC4L with signal tonight. Last night was not very good for anybody, I guess, because of that storm plans, I guess. But there's Northern Light. That's about it. Not much flying today. The weather did clear up. We got 2 flight tests tomorrow. And that's about it. So, 48 degrees right now, Mal, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. And Northern Lights is pretty interesting. We didn't get to see it up here either because it's the cloud cover.
I didn't get the beginning of it because somebody stepped on you trying to get into the net. Please wait to be called, all right? Or just say break. Don't give me the whole length of the thing. I'm listening to somebody. I'm calling for them. If you talk, it takes me longer to get to you because I have to explain to you what's proper. And in addition, I can't hit a phone, and I got to ask him again what he says. So stand by. I'll pick up everybody. But you got to stand by and let the people I send it over to talk. KD2VEN, come on in, Rich.
Yeah, okay, Mel, thanks, yeah. So, 48 degrees up here. Not a great day for flying today, but the weather's cleared up, looks like. So I got 2 flight tests tomorrow. And the weather should be pretty good for the next couple of days, but who knows? And we didn't get to see the Northern Lights either because of the cloud cover up here. But that's the way it is. I heard Mark talking there. He went to some flea market or some important stuff. But other than that, that's about it. How you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing okay. We went out and visited with my son and daughter-in-law and my grandson and my granddaughter and fun. And I can just tell you once again, the only thing bad about being a grandfather is that you're married to a grandmother, or vice versa. Anyway, we had a very, very good time, Rich, and 48 degrees there, and it's almost in June. Where's global warming when you need it, right?
Yeah, don't talk about that. There's global warming my foot. All right, very good. See who else is out there right now. Well, I think Richard was in there, but hello, Richard, if you hear me. So I'll just say 73 right now. I'll pick up the rest of the guys, and we'll catch you later.
Yeah, I'm hearing you pretty good right now, Rich. As long as it's clear. The Whiskey 4 station, Charlie something or other. Come on in.
Yes, it's the Whiskey 4 separation Delta Charlie 1 Foxtrot Lima Oscar. A Whiskey 4 separation Delta Charlie 1 Foxtrot Lima Oscar here in Bonita Springs, between Fort Myers and Naples. I'm a German hammer operator here in holidays. I'm on vacation in Bonita Springs. Cheers,
Well, welcome to the Hall of Walnut. Welcome to the USA in Florida. I'm in Florida, too. I'm in Hollywood. I'm on the opposite coast from you. And I was in Fort Myers this morning.